What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. One of my sponsors, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble Fertilitzer. Best promotion they have right now. All you need to do, click the link, go open an account. They're going to give you free stock. If you can deposit a single dollar, they are going to give you more free stock. And I'm sure by now, some of you know, if not, a little bit of tough news coming out from Maximum Football is they are delaying the game. And full disclosure, had an opportunity over the weekend to speak with Mike. I'd actually never spoke to Mike, even though he's been in the community for years and years. And although I can't talk a lot about our conversation, I will say that going into it, I was a little bit dejected based on what I had seen and heard from Maximum. But after the conversation and reading through some of their posts, I do feel better about the progress they're making and the decisions they've made. So I think the first thing we need to talk about is you only really have one chance to make a first impression. And that can be said to where they are now in setting a release time frame they didn't meet. It can also be said to the time someone gets their hands on the game, because let's be honest, whether we delay the start of this game or not, it's going to be a free game, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to download it because of that, and the true first impression will be downloading the game as opposed to following them right now on social media for so many people, because I'm sure right now there's people that don't even realize that this game exists, or this game is coming out, or this game has been on consoles before, been on PC before, because a lot of people just assume that it's not a real game, but it's been a real game. You can go download it. And because of that, I think we also have to understand that there's already a known expectation for what this game is going to improve upon and be. And I think that lends itself unique to Maximum Football, and that we've really never seen a football gamer, I don't really know if any game for that matter, has pretty much been bought in a production phase, picked up by another developer, and then tried to be carried back over from what it was. I mean, the only thing I can even think of that's close to this would be like a movie sequel. If someone bought the rights to a movie and then decided, well, we're just going to take what's here and continue on, that's essentially what Maximum Football is doing, and it's a very strange undertaking, but, you know, based on where this game is, the people that are working on it, it really does seem to me like they want to make the best game possible. So, I also want to clear up, they've talked about early access, and that's going to have the game playable in an alpha or beta stage. And I've seen a lot of confusion based on what EA does, where, you know, you pre-order the game and you get it early. That is not what most games deem early access. Early access is when someone plays an unfinished game, allows you to provide feedback and shape what the game would ultimately become. And I think a lot of people are confusing the terminology because it's very similar. And it's not just Madden. I mean, we're used to MLB The Show, you know, giving you early access to the game because you pre-ordered it. That's not what they're looking to do with early access. So, from what we understand now, the short answer of when this game is going to be available is fall of this year. And I did talk to Mike, as I mentioned, and I was pretty steadfast about, you know, what are we talking about in terms of certainty? And he seems to have a very firm grasp on this community. As I said, obviously worked with Madden for a long time and the Madden Ultimate Team brand, and was honest with me in not fully having his pulse on, you know, the work that I had done or other franchise gamers had done, but clearly now seems very open, very receptive to what we have to say and what we want in a game. And ultimately, I think anyone that plays a game wants the best experience possible, and I see him really striving to get that. I look forward, again, you know, to working with this game. But I wanted to talk about some screenshots here that really kind of take me back a little bit, because when I look at these, I don't think about screenshots of Maximum Football. I think about what we've been told can't be done in games, right? We've been told referees really can't be on the field anymore unless they're going to look right. We've been told that visors can't have proper reflections on the field. Yet here we are, blatantly seeing it. You know, we do see yet again that we have some branding within this game with Adidas, which again is a small thing, but a big step in getting people into the game. But to me, it's just looking at the visor reflections and remembering I did a video once about a visor reflection in a practice mode with Madden. And I believe what you saw was the inside reflection of the stadium through the visor. And the response that I got, I distinctly remember from EA was, you can't have real-time reflections in a football game. So what we have to do is put the entire stadium reflecting none of the assets. So it was essentially just an empty stadium. So when I see things like this, it kind of takes me back a little bit to that video. But what Maximum has been doing is each week they've been creating a game. And they've taken still images of that game to share with the community. In some case, they've taken footage and shared with the community so that we can kind of always stay involved in the development of this game. And I would hope this week, after they come out and talk about the delay, that they would further show some footage and start to show some of the footage that works with the images we've seen. So we can see the deviance in these routes. So we can see the offense and defensive line interactions. Because as I mentioned, going back and looking at the gameplay, to be fair, what we were being talked about in these posts and what we were actually seeing within the gameplay are two different things. But there's no doubt in my mind at this point, we have people in place that want to make the best game possible. We have the foundation from an incredible programmer. And honestly, I hope that if I could really stress one thing to Maximum Football in the team they have right now, I would hope that they find a way to pay homage to David Winter and the amount of effort he put in this game. And it seems to me, just looking at it at a face value, there's an unfortunate disconnect between the team and David. And I don't know who actually calls that, and I don't know why it's there, and personally, I don't care. I'm sure if I was David, I would feel some emotions about having someone else work on a product that I spent so much time on. And I'm sure if I was working on this game, I would probably be more focused on trying to make the best game possible than concerned about the guy that programmed it. But all of that to say, I hope that they find a way to pay homage to him, the work that he did in putting this game back in the community, and understand that the way this community treats products is not the most positive. And I'm just as guilty as anyone of that. And I firmly believe that if David Winter had not sat down one day and said, listen, I'm going to make a football game, I'm going to code a game out, that there is no way that Modus would have just decided one mid-afternoon to say, let's start making a football game. So no matter what this game becomes, whether it becomes your favorite or your least favorite game, there should always be a way to respect David and the effort that he put in, years of his life, trying to make the best football game possible, and thankfully also being able to let go of something he worked so hard on to give it kind of a revitalization with a new gaming company. I don't think enough people talk about or think about what that would do and how that would be. I mean, essentially, in a way, giving something you completely created away to someone else, knowing that your vision is probably going to be lost in the process, and say, here, do as you wish, and make profit with it as well, by the way. So, I have no doubt that people are frustrated. They wanted the game sooner. I wanted the game sooner. I have no doubt people are confused about early access and what that means, and if that's a way to financially get money from gamers, but it's really not. And honestly, people that are involved in early access are on PC for the most part anyway, so if you're a console gamer, you probably don't have much to worry about when it comes to early access, beta, and alphas. But also, I do see a gaming company that realizes, hey, when we need to get something right, we need to get something right, and if that means taking time to do it, then that's what we're going to have to do, whether we want to or not. This was, I'm sure, not an easy decision for anyone over at Maximum. I know it disappoints myself and so many people in the community, but it's where we are. It's where we're going. The game is still going to come out, but now they've lost the ability of having excuses of we didn't have enough time. We say the same thing with EA. Once you set things back, don't come to us and say you didn't have enough time. You needed more time because you're the one that set these standards. You're the one that gave the dates, and hopefully they can put out a product that is competitive on day one, whenever that day one would be. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching this video, and you know I will be back in the week with more content.